Okay, the next thing we need to do is cut the legs that go in the back. They're kind of triangular things, actually trapezoidal. And I'm making ours from Baltic birch. It's a very nice material, and it's 60 by 60 inches. I need 24 inches off. We make two legs from a piece that's 24 inches by 60 inches. So we're going to rip it here on the swap saw. We have the Baltic birch. It's cut to 24 by 60 inches. We're going to cut it diagonally from nearly this corner to the opposite corner. We're going to come 21 3/4 inches from here down to there, and from this corner over here, 21 3/4 from there over to there. We're going to line it up just like we did before with the back, rip it across there, and finish up the legs. Okay, we're going to measure 21 3/4 down to here. Go to the other end. Measure 21 3/4 down to here. I know you can't see this on camera, but it's not that exciting. Once again, we have reset the depth of the saw to the thickness of the workpiece. Work safe. As you can tell, that plywood blade gives a very clean cut with no tear out. If you use that same blade on the panel saw, you'll get the same result. That happens to be a Diablo plywood blade, 56 teeth, carbide tipped. Now we have the legs cut out to their basic shape, but we need to put a cut in here 5 inches from this corner up to here, and 2.5 inches back up in. It could even be 3.5. And needs to be 1 inch wide. Just so happens that a combination square is 1 inch wide, so we'll measure up and put the marks down. Okay, measure 5 inches from the corner. Put the mark there. We'll grab this square. Well, we need to bring this down to a reasonable depth. We'll put it 2.5 inches. And mark it across the end. Okay, that will be our slot. We could drill holes here and here and come in with a jigsaw, or just use this vibrating tool. Now we're going to flip it over and cut from the other side. Now that we have the front, or the back panel cut out and the legs cut out, it's time to put the hinges on the legs and attach them to the back. What we want to do is have this hinge so that this edge comes down flush with the back edge on this. So that when you fold this up, they have a nice neat edge. They both should be a 72-degree included angle. The offset from the bottom here up to the bottom edge of the leg is conveniently 3.5 inches. Same as it is for the width of the piece of plywood, or a piece of 2x4. So we're going to put a hinge basically at the bottom, the top, and in the middle on this, such that it'll hinge up. When it's in this position, it provides a massive stiffener to the back panel. Otherwise, it could bow, might be warped out of shape, but this will straighten it right out. You put it down, you're going to be good. So the hinges are going to go on this back side so it can hinge down that way. We've got the leg ready to go. We're ready to put the hinges on it. This is a miter saw stand or station that I built, and it's got a fence right here. It makes the ideal jig to put the hinges on. We just set this down here, and then we set the hinges up. At each end, I set that about an inch from the end here. This will go right at 30 inches because this is 60 inches long. It has a center hole, so we know exactly where that goes. That'll go about an inch from the bottom. We just screw it together. And so we'll go ahead and check this. 1 inch wide rule on that. 1 inch wide rule down here. And that's 28 inches. Bingo, 30. That doesn't have to be exact. To keep things in position, we'll just throw a C-clamp or two on here. One should probably do it, but we'll go for overkill. There we are. These screws that come with the hinges are too long. The ones that came with these hinges were about an inch long. I've got some 1/2 inch wood screws that we're going to use. And for the other side that goes into the 3/4 inch plywood, I have some 5/8 wood screws. Just come in and pop them in. Let's go from here. Come over here. There we are. All right, we have the leg over here with the hinges on it. We have the spacer at the bottom, and we need to set this up and attach these hinges to this surface. In order to do that, we need something to stabilize this to keep it where it needs to be in order for that to come down in the right place. It's going to take a little bit of trial and error to do that, but we'll get it set up and we'll take the 2x6 that we use for the fence and use that to build a similar jig as we used to put the hinges on the leg over there. Okay, we have it set up now. We have the leg, the edges flush with the back. We used the 2x4 for the spacer at the bottom. And we took the ears that we cut off of the two back pieces as spacers between the leg and the back. This is a 1/2 inch thick, so as you bring that up, it's going to come out a 1/2 inch. And you've got the radius of the hinge, the distance between the center of the pin and the plywood to deal with as well on the back. So 3/4 of an inch should be pretty good. So we'll take this, put that behind, bring this up, and if you saw what I saw, the back just moved a little bit endwise. So we'll clamp this lightly in place, and we will check the spacing over here. It moved about an inch. So there we go. That clamp was just the right tension. All right, then we go in and we'll screw these down. Now that we have them down, we'll check the fit. I'm sure it's not going to be perfect, but it doesn't come past. It's about 1/4 inch off up here and close to flush down there. We're very close. It's more than good enough. And that jig made it easy. As you build this, you need to remember that which is the front side and which is the back side of these panels. As we put the hinges on the other leg, we need to flop it end for end, and this one has a narrow end here, wide end down the other end. You need to reverse that for the opposite side. Well, we have the other leg all set up, the screws in it, ready to go. You'll notice this goes the opposite direction from the first one, and we'll set up and put it on the back piece for it. Okay, we're ready to put these, screw the hinges to the back panel. Again, the screws that came with the hinges were too long, so we're using some shorter ones. These are 3/4 inch long, number 8 wood screws. Come in, pop in. Keep it close as possible. See how close the gap between the leg and the back panel?